I would like to welcome everyone to the first episode of Real Talk by yours truly, Marcus James. Today's topic, I want to title this topic today that we're going to talk about. I want to talk about what's going on. What's going on? And I want to use that as a topic as far as to interject certain things after that. Like, what's going on? What's going on in this country? What's going on in this world? What's going on with our lives? And first of all, I just want to start off by welcoming everyone who will tune in to listen to this first edition of Real Talk. I want to start off by saying what is going on in this country, because we live in such a day and age where it just seems like all of this stuff is going on. Every time you turn on the news, every time you log on to the internet, whatever you do, going out in the street or going on your jobs or whatever the case is, what is going on? What is happening to life in itself? And I know there are a lot of people out here, they're asking that same question. Will we live in such a tumultuous time in 2018? And it just seems like everywhere we turn around, there's so much, it seems like chaos and confusion. It just seems like everything is just up in such an upheaval. And it seems like there's so much going on. And if we're not careful, it could cause some of us to go crazy. And what I mean by going crazy, it doesn't mean that you go crazy literally, but it will cause us to be thinking like, what is going on here? And a lot of times we could be watching something on the news, and even though what they might particularly present on that news channel or that specific report may be true, but sometimes the media selects what they want to, put out, because their objective is to push their own particular agenda. And a lot of times we live in a day and age where people will readily believe anything nowadays, because they don't research stuff out, so they just ready to believe anything without really going behind to figure out, is this true or not? And because of that, a lot of us have been burnt by that. And a lot of times the false narratives and the lies have gotten out more than what's actually the truth. And because of that, people are going off lies, and people are spreading those lies. And once you begin to spread those lies, it becomes worse and worse. And now you got a whole bunch of chaos, because one lie became another lie, and this lie became even worse. And now we got a whole bunch of confusion going around, because all we could have did was make sure that whatever we were spreading or whatever we were saying was true. And because we live in a day and age where a lot of people don't want to believe the truth, and nobody wants to hear the truth, then we're going to have these instances where everybody's going to run to the lies. Everybody's going to run to opinions. A lot of people are going to run to what's not for real. So I asked this question: what's going on? What's going on? What's going on with this country? What's going on with this country? It just seems like there's this ongoing debate of conservative and liberal. Obviously, we had those things before in times past, but it just seems like, especially the last few years, it just began like this ongoing debate, and it just like people have just exalted this above anything else that's going on in this country. That if you speaking on this, then you got to be labeled as a conservative or a liberal. If you saying this, you label as a conservative, liberal, instead of just speaking whatever is on your mind in regards to the particular situation that is at hand. I never been in a situation whereas now that most of the time we are judged by those things. And because we're judged by those things, people tend to label it as a conservative liberal. And because of that, people are not entitled to speak whatever that's on their minds anymore without being labeled that. What happened to the time where we can express a particular opinion or we can express a particular thing without being labeled a conservative or liberal? And not to say that those words are bad, but it becomes dangerous when we always put a label behind what we say or not without beginning to understand what we say and not putting that label on. And a lot of times, because we have chosen to label these things, it has caused so much unnecessary division. It has caused so much unnecessary arguing on the internet, and not just on the internet, but in our everyday lives. People are coming to disagreements and stuff over stuff that is not even, doesn't make sense. And we just have to really look within ourselves and ask ourselves, what is going on? Why are we allowing these things to cause us to be in so much turmoil? Why are we allowing these things to cause us to hate one another? Why are we allowing these things to cause us to separate from one another? What ways can we bridge the gap between one another, even though we might not share the same opinions? Maybe might not always share the same perspectives, but it's going to be like that anyway, because we all are raised different. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different situations. So disagreement is sometimes is good, but the way we go about it, instead of us trying to learn from one another in the different opinions that we have, we choose to exalt our opinion over the other without failing to listen, trying to listen to one another for real so we can gain an understanding. So I asked the question, what's going on? What's going on in our lives? There seems to be such a occurrence of offense that everyone is so easily offended. All of us have been affected by it in some way, because it just seems like we can't begin to really express ourselves without somebody taking offense or being offended by it nowadays. It seems like every time we open our mouths up, somebody's not going to like it. And because of that, we live in an offended state. We live in an offended country where people cannot express what they want to express, not in the terms of saying negative stuff, but in the saying stuff that could help someone because they're afraid that they may offend them. I asked that question. What's going on? What's going on that's caused us to be so offended? What has caused us to be so sensitive about every little thing instead of us really tapping into things that can help one another as human beings? So in essence, I want to leave y'all with this on this first podcast of Real Talk. What's going on? I want us to really get into that mindset of we asking ourselves every day in some way, what's going on? What's going on in our lives? What's going on in the world around? What's going on the news? What's going on in politics? What's going on in our relationship? What's going on with the things that we do every day? And I want to hopefully encourage someone out there to say that when you begin to examine that statement, that you would find peace, that you would find that whatever is going on in your life and the life around you, that you would find some type of stability behind that, so that that question could be answered. I want to thank you all for all those who will listen to this, and I promise you that this is the start of a great time it will be, and I hope that someone will be encouraged, someone will be led to be bold themselves and to help someone else out if you can. All right, peace. I'm out.